Okay, I'd like to show you how to mount the G25 and G27 pedals onto the pedal pan. So what I'm going to do is set them in here and then flip it up. You can take these 6mm bolts here, and if you put your hand underneath, your fingers underneath like that, you can line these bolt holes up by moving it around, and you can see the bolt hole through there. But go ahead and put a bolt in. You can move it around until you get it right where it goes in. Okay, then come over and you can move the top back and forth until it's lined up. Okay, that's how to put the pedals on the G25 and G27. Okay, I'd like to show you how to mount the G25 and G27 steering wheel onto the lap bar, and I've taken it all apart so that you can see how these mount up. And obviously you want to wrap all your wires up in here real nice and tight so there's no slack anywhere, and it looks real good. But anyway, I've taken this apart so that you can see where these mounting holes are to mount the wheel onto the lap bar here. You want to use these holes right here with these 10 millimeter wrench. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'd like to show you how to mount the G25 and G27 shifter onto the adapter and then onto the stand here. I've taken this clamp mechanism off the bottom of the shifter. There's 4 sheet metal screws down inside of here. 2 of them are way deep down inside, and there's a picture on the instructions on the website that show where they are. But that clamp mechanism has to come off of there, and these other clamps really don't serve any purpose for what we're doing. You can move them all the way up so they're kind of out of the way. But we want to take the Logitech shifter adapter. You can see these countersunk holes here, and these countersunk holes need to go like that. And then I have a T-handle wrench here, which makes it a lot easier, but just line those holes up. The other countersunk bolt. Okay, and that shifter will go on like that. So now I have these socket head bolts and nuts. And you want to just hold the shifter up there. Now, I like mine all the way out, but you can decide where you want it. Okay, and this takes a 3/16 Allen wrench and a 10 millimeter bolt or wrench. Okay, and that's it. And just clamp the front of your steering wheel down, and there you have it. There's your wheel mounted. Okay, I'd like to show you the typical wiring setup for the G25 and G27. And first of all, I want to show you this right here. You need to make sure that you give everything room to move. Lifting the pedal pan up and down, you want to make sure that nothing binds in there. It'll actually pull the wire out of the pedals if you get it too tight. So as you can see, I have it kind of loose here where it's got room to flop around and not. You want to stay out of this area right here because it'll pinch the wire. So go up a little ways with some tape and give yourself plenty of slack. Not too much, but just enough to where it doesn't pull the wire out. Okay, I'd like to show you the rest of the wiring here. You can run all the wires up the backbone here and use black electrical tape to hold them in place underneath the bar. And I have my power wire and the USB coming out of a single location here to go to the power and the USB port on the PS3. And then I have room for the wire to move. If you want to adjust for your legs, if you've got people that are short and tall that'll be using it, you want to be able to move it in and out without the wires binding up. Okay, now from the other side, I'd like to show you how I've got this wired up. You can see the tape and the wire running inside the floor bar there, and then run the wires up underneath the stand with tape, black tape. You can also use wire ties, work really well. But see there, you can see my loop underneath, and then a wire going over the shifter. I do have a wire tie there holding the shifter wire, but see, everything's nice and tucked in there and out of the way. Things can move without binding up. So there you go. There's a typical wiring setup for G25 and G27 Logitech. Okay, I'd like to show you how to loop these wires up enough. This is kind of tricky because you've got to get enough room here to be able to put these wires up in here and hide them. So see, I've got enough slack here that I can wind all these wires up here and still move it around and clamp it and get it bolted up.